So we're close enough.
Bruno's favorite chew toy. Toby.
Alrighty, now it says live here on stream. Okay. Should be good again. Let's pop chat out. There we go.
First was third.
First was third. And they can hear us. First was third. Hello. So I'm still ironing out this whole how to start a live stream thing. It's great fun because there was a point in time not long ago that I would set up through YouTube using my little switcher, and there was a button I would actually click for start stream. But now it seems like it just starts when it detects the being hooked up to the streaming camera, and it just goes. So, all right. Anyway, hey, how's it going? It's October 12th. It's Monday. For the next 2 hours, Felicia and I will be working some more with the foam chain mail from Foam Armory. Actually, right now, today, William Shakespeare over on, or Jake over on the William Shakespeare channel just put out a video using the same chain mail to make like a King Arthur kind of helmet with the thing on the back of the head.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a little thing down the back. He dry brushed the whole thing. I actually haven't watched the videos. I watch most of Jake's videos, but I haven't watched it yet. But
So
I saw the thumbnail.
Full coif.
It's not a full coif. It's just the back of the head.
Okay, so I thought about how to do that. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, sure, go for it.
No, I know. I just really like this material. It's fun to play with, and I'm glad that more people are doing it. And
it is.
Soon I feel like it's just going to a little bit take over once people realize
how versatile, easy, and lightweight it is.
How you can do more than rectangles. I know we're starting with rectangles.
Right, yeah, we are.
It's easy and it's simple, and you could buy the kit, put the rectangles together, and have some armor that looks pretty badass, in my opinion. So
this whole stream started because I talked to Ben independently. Like he got a hold of me and he's talking about his product, and I thought this was awesome. And at the same time, you watched.
Oh yeah, the Adam Savage video where he was geeking out on the chainmail, and I was like, oh, I know that. Like, I've worked with that. I've had those problems. That sucks. I like this. Dealt with that problem, you know. And I wanted to see what was up with the chainmail, and so I was bugging him, saying, hey, do you have some foam I can cut up?
And we were looking at it. It's like, what can we go laser cut? Where can we go get a big sheet laser cut to get enough? I found a laser cutter over at the community college. Right. I got the hookup on, like, all this stuff, and then COVID hit, and things went crazy, but yeah, everything went on hold. And the other thing that she was telling me was watching the Adam Savage video. At the end of it, Adam mentions, do you have a pattern to make like a shirt out of this? And Ben was like, no, I haven't figured that out yet, or I don't. Or he was very kind of like, oh yeah, no, I'm not prepared for that type of a thing. And I went, I know how to do that. Figure that out. Give me some of this stuff. Let me play with it. Let me put it together. And I think I gave you like a bunch of drawings that had all the different patterns of different ways to put it together, depending where you wanted to put the seaming. You did. They should be in there. There were post-it notes. It's okay though. Yeah. Cameras are too far away. Yeah, there they are. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, she gave one where there was no seam across the top. It was just like a big T or plus sign that came down, and you lace up the sides. And then there was other ones, and then how to make like the darts and kind of the same way that they do basic chainmail or T-shirts and stuff in general, because it's still the human torso. It's still a human torso. It's still the same issues. You still have armpits. You still have a shoulder. Right. You still have elbows, and you have little wrists. You have little wrists, right. You have big hands and little wrists. Yes. Right. All the same kind of problems, the same kind of linking issues, the way you can do it continuous if you need a seam, where you put things together. Right. So even watching chainmail videos where you do the links and trying to figure out the weave and the weight and the way things hang, it's all the same problems. And you were telling me that how you're weaving the chainmail depends on how it flexes. Yes. Because there's like a with grain and against grain, and against grain it just stretches out, but you do, I may be saying with and against wrong, but if the grain follows the length of the body, then you can actually breathe in it. Yes, there's definitely different ways the chainmail hangs, which will affect the way it wears. And so you can't necessarily do from shoulder across, because then your arms are now, when you bend your arm from being a straight T
to going down, now all of a sudden they're facing a different way, they're hanging differently.
They just hang long, okay.
And so there's all these weird things to consider in chainmail in general.
Right.
Or knitting.
Or knitting.
Sewing. Or, basic clothing construction.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of geeked out about it and was bugging you, saying, hey, look at this stuff, I want to play with it.
Cool. Well, let's play with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, hey, I'll let you pull that out. I'll try and pay attention to some of our fine viewers. Hey, how's it going? So we're going to be streaming for about 2 hours. The plan is to stop at right around 2 o'clock my time. I'm in California. And because we're also working on a whole another project that'll hopefully be out here in a couple of days. Need to get the final shots for that. And of course, everyone saw you recently. If any of you watched my video from last week, they got to see you a lot in that video as we played with inflatable suits.
I know, that was so much fun.
That was so much fun.
I've always wanted to make an inflatable suit, and I think that one was...
That one was great. And it's so weird that the ripstop nylon, because I didn't quite get this in the video, the ripstop nylon that we used, it all read to be the same grade on the bolt. The orange worked. The blue, so in the video, if you've seen it, we would turn on the orange, but it wouldn't inflate strong enough that the legs could hold at the torso. So he'd kind of sink until he got to the torso. Then he would sort of sit there. The blue would inflate so well, you could almost put a string on him and carry him around, in the air. And then I sewed a red one in the video. If you haven't noticed, red is a lie. It's the blue suit recolored. Because I actually sewed a red suit, but it didn't hold enough at all. It was like the purple, practically. But it's all exactly the same fabric. So that was just...
And then I brought my inflatable T-Rex.
You did?
It's not ripstop nylon.
It's not, okay.
No, but it is a nylon that's a really dense weave that you can't breathe through.
Okay.
So,
right.
Just...
Now, does he... I want to take a look at that because you mentioned, and someone else has mentioned about having a vent in the top.
Is there a vent?
I can't see how there would be because he would just deflate. And I've seen the children's version of some of the dinosaurs are double walled, so their face is actually exposed out the neck or the front of the dinosaur. Yeah. But these ones, all the ones I've seen for the adults, because screw adults, enjoy your carbon dioxide, and you're just inside with the vinyl window.
I only remember having the vinyl window. I've ran around in that suit, but now I am completely blanking.
That's all right.
I know that it cuffs at the wrist, and then it has little gloves that you stick on, so it's not like...
Right.
So that the way it's airtight is elastic at the wrists and ankles.
Right. Which I would still like to elastic the suits, the
I've thought of
suits.
ways how to do that.
Okay.
Like I've thought of a few. Just...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but other projects.
Other project. All right, I talked about looking at this. We'll enjoy the train noises. And
yes.
For those of you who don't know, I've got a train line. One of the main Sacramento train lines, about 300 yards that way. Not even that, 200 yards that way.
Oh, and by the way, we have not touched this project. It's gone in the box. We've only touched it on this live stream. So you are not missing anything.
Right. We had the thought that hopefully there would be a little bit of baking the cake off camera so things would advance every time we came on. Nah, it's been Halloween and crazy projects, and so this, like she says, it's only touched when the live stream is happening.
Not even 15 minutes beforehand.
Right. AFG 122602 says, thank you for introducing me to Among Us. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. You can find rooms that actually have more than one imposter, and there's different maps, although I always play on the ship, on the Skeld. I'm always playing on that one because I know it. But yeah, and the fun thing for me, I'm almost never the imposter. I don't know why. I know I don't have good sweepstakes luck. So random chance, random draw, I don't usually get chosen. Just the way it seems to work for me. And so I've played like a week and a half with never being the imposter. So when it happens, I don't know what to do, and I'm immediately voted off the ship, and I don't learn how to be the imposter. Engelbert Humpty Dunk, excuse me, I said that wrong. Engelbert Humpty Dunk says, good evening, Odin. Much love from England. Well, good evening, Engelbert. Much love from California. I would love to go visit England at some point. Not going to lie. At least I could communicate with you people.
What time is it in London?
They're 8 hours ahead right now, or maybe 7, because I don't remember how daylight savings times work. So it should be 7 or 8 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock.
All right. Monday evening?
Monday evening. Mm-hmm. I remember that from trying to watch Doctor Who. Canned Tuna's back. Hi, how's it going? Hey, we're doing well, Canned Tuna. We're breaking out the sewing machine and doing stuff again. Here's one from Dimitri Gonzo. Do you know me? I got a good guess who you are based off your name, Dimitri. So maybe. Hey, how's it going? Catch any shinies today? Jesse Gilo. I'm also rarely an imposter. When I am, I get voted off and voted off by trolls immediately. Exactly. Shane tells me, yeah, it's 8 o'clock at the UK or 2000 hours. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is 8. So
quick question before
you bet.
I get started. Oh,
It's
this is
paper.
the wrong drawing. This is the torso.
It's the wrong trousers, Gromit. It's the wrong trousers.
Nope. You know what? It's over in this one.
Oh, okay. I was trying to show you the picture.
Sorry. I just was trying to confirm.
X-Vortex is asking, what are you doing this time, Odin? On the live stream, we're working on a Witcher prop. Are you trying to ask what I'm going to have out for this Wednesday's video? That's actually being edited upstairs right now by my wife. She's gonna get that wrapped up. So if you're on Patreon, you'll probably be able to see Wednesday's video tonight. I'm making something because Darkwing Duck is going to have an hour-long episode next week. So I'm doing something to go along with that.
I really like the new DuckTales. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
They're really good. I'm excited about Darkwing Duck.
Cool. I've always known the character. I've always appreciated the character. I'll be honest, I never really watched a lot of DuckTales. And I did a little bit of research on Darkwing Duck and the new DuckTales. And I love how they brought him back and how it's working in the new show. Not that I've seen the episodes, but I've seen people talk about it, and I thought it was brilliant.
I've seen them, and I still want to go rewatch them before seeing the new Darkwing Duck.
Okay, that's cool. So hour-long Darkwing Duck on the 19th, if I remember the dates right.
Well, free promotion there, Disney.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They need it. They get no promotion at all.
Okay.
Okay,
well,
so
just my question was,
right.
We were trying to figure out the seaming on the thing.
On the thing. Okay.
And we got to make sure we have the grain correct when you attach the top to the bottom. Remember, it was.
Right.
Yeah, so which way?
Which way? Because I just stuck it down.
Before we start, which way does everything kind of go together? Because we have to add the leather trim, the vinyl trim.
Okay.
And so then the way you do the vinyl trim, they had lazy corners.
Right.
So I wanted to do the lazy corners the correct way.
Okay. Interesting that I'm told the vinyl went out, the audio went out. So I'm going to check to make sure if I switch cameras that I'm still maintaining audio, because I thought I set it up so it would. So if audio cuts out, it's intentional on my end or unintentional on my end. So I'm just checking over. From what I can see, I still have audio. I still have program audio bars moving while I'm on this shot. While I'm on the dog shot, I see it. While I'm on the, hey, we're working on stuff shot. So from my end, as far as I can tell, I have audio on all those camera angles because all of them tell me that program's happening. So if it's been quiet through those other 3 shots, please let us know. Sorry.
It's okay.
Technical stuff that I can't tell because I don't watch my stream while I'm doing it.
I have even less knowledge because I'm not even looking at your computer.
Right, and we're flying solo. I got nobody else in this room helping us out. Well, we do. We've got those guys, but that's all.
They're doing great.
They're doing great.
So these are the shoulder ones.
Those are the shoulder ones, okay.
And
do you want to try it?
The grain line goes this way.
Yes.
But the arm ones
are going perpendicular to that.
The same, like there's a white, I know it looks like a square, but the long side goes down here, and then these are going to connect like that. And so this is the direction that these need to go.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And this is the direction these need to go. So we're lined up. That one's wrong.
Yeah.
There. And then our tops, they go across, and our sides get cut off. So we start with the sides, and then we finish with the tops. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because they cross, and the tops get finished. So
gotcha. So effectively, all the lines in my mind are running horizontal.
Yes.
They're all because the start and stop and everything is horizontal. Okay.
Yes.
And on the top, there's There's this little decorative piece.
Yes.
That looks like, with your drawing and from what I remember in the pictures, that was the first layer.
Mm-hmm. So we have to make this pattern piece first.
Okay. Oh, I don't want that. I've got some pictures saved and trying to pull them up because why be prepared? We're live.
This is live crafting. We haven't prepped anything.
Just make this a little smaller so we can see the chat and
no, I don't like
pictures.
That color.
There's lots of black. Or you're probably not talking about thread.
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, you're talking about colors.
Oh, I was seeing if that real leather matched this vinyl.
And it doesn't, right?
Not in any good way, so I'm just going to keep with the vinyl for now.
Okay. Did you want the purse that I picked up for like this inner piece, or are you just going to use it all exactly the same stuff?
All the same stuff, because we have it, and it doesn't hurt too. If we were going to, I have the real leather, and it's a little easier to work with.
Right.
Than vinyl. So if we have it.
And here I wasted it on a whole nother video that'll hopefully be coming out Thursday.
No, but there's still tons of it left.
There's still, yeah, there is, okay.
And I gave you other pieces. I just was curious if that scrap would work, and it doesn't. So.
Okay. Well, I'm getting a notification for the one person who said about the audio cutting out. Oh, hey, Nicole King's watching. Cool. Hey, Nicole for Patreon. So Wednesday's video should be up late tonight for you to be able to see, Nicole. Audio issues, apparently the person thinks it was just their internet, so we should be fine. Now, also, so you guys know, I'm wearing the microphone. It's here, so she's just being picked up on my mic. So if I turn my back to her, she may get a little softer because there's an Odin in the way between the mic and Felicia.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to make that piece.
All right.
So I'm going to let you draw that one.
Where's my Bob the Builder pencil? I like my Bob the Builder pencil. Isn't that one? Yeah, there's the white one. Yep.
That one. Oh, here's Bob.
There, I got two Bobs. Bob the Builder. You probably can't see it because it's really tiny, but for a few years I was an editor at the local PBS station, and I can't tell you how excited I was when I could get a carpentry pencil with Bob the Builder on it.
I love swag.
I love swag. So quick test market. If I made Odin Makes carpentry pencils, would you guys be interested in buying those?
Odin Makes pencils.
Odin Makes pencils. Yeah, it would just be a pencil that says Odin Makes on it.
Yeah.
So 2 inches seems pretty good as a start. And then we got 0, 5, and 5. So here's our center. And it doesn't go up that much. Oh, it's actually almost looks like it's got 2 layers. But it's a costume. Do it as. Okay. I asked a question and I see I'm getting yes, yes, yes. Oh, Bruce Marvel says we make a good team.
High five.
Thank you, Bruce. Oswald, absolutely, I love pencils. Make a John Wick pen or a Joker pencil. It's magic act. All right. That's something that I will try to have happen.
You know, when the people give out the swag and they have the nice pens.
Right. Yeah.
I still have them.
Okay.
You know which ones I'm talking about? The Leslie Motors. You know the really nice ones?
No, not from Leslie Motors. I've seen lots of different pens, but half the time I take pens apart, so I look at the pieces of a pen and not what the pen does.
Okay, it's the ones where they have the stylus tip, so it's the rubber tip, and then you click it out, and then it also is a real pen.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Those ones?
I got one of those from a steampunk tea company in Dallas. I love that pen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you have, carpeting pens that people use.
Okay.
Like, not a bad advertisement, just saying. How many edges on my 4 rectangles? Math.
How many edges on your 4 rectangles?
I'm just trying to think of how many of these to cut off the top of my head. So
seems like a trick question. It's 4.
No, but 4 rectangles. So 4 times 4.
Oh, 4 times 4 is 16.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Math quiz.
That's fine.
Then.
That's fine. I didn't understand the multiplication part. It's like there's 4 sides to a rectangle. Done.
I have 4 rectangles with 4 sides each.
Okay, that makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, they needed 4 sets of 4.
Yeah, 4 sets of 4. I don't know. I've been doing so much of my math lazily on a measuring tape lately.
Right.
I bring divide, it up. Multiply.
There's been more than once when I've done really lazy math as part of the VO or on the show, because we've talked about it before. I do the math beforehand, right? I'm figuring it out. So then I'm just reciting it from memory while I'm trying to do it, and I say the number's totally wrong.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. I get the right answer because I know what the answer is, but I say the equation wrong, and yeah, I get called out for it in the comments. It's great. I'm going to, all right, so I drew this, but I need to do, no, you don't need, no, you need a little bit of seam allowance on this. Do that. Now I need your fantabulous curve machine.
It's right here.
Oh, thank
French
you.
curve.
French curve.
French curve. That's my favorite French curve. Number 17.
Okay, I only want it to go up an inch. So let's mark that, because beyond that is seam allowance. Maybe a little more. No, we need enough. Only this edge needs a seam allowance. And then, oh, I forgot to turn the on-air light on.
Oh, that's that light switch?
Yeah, the little tiny one by Gungnir, behind the melty stick. I love directions in my shop.
Okay, I'm completely...
It's this little tiny guy up here.
Oh, I would have never seen that. Yeah, I tried.
So Gungnir has not made it up to my edit bay yet, but I want it to. Just I haven't got in there and done what do you want to call it? I haven't gotten in and done decorating yet. I moved in and it's just been work. I haven't like hung up. I got shelves, they're on the floor. You know, I've got Lego sets I like to set up. I've got books I'd like to set up. It just hasn't happened. I got viewers that kind of want to see what this silly edit bay man cave thing is that I'm in, and it's just, it's a pile of stuff on a desk. Oops, that's not the one I want. Oh, you're all right. I'm just trying to get...
Oh yeah, I stole yours, sorry.
That's fine. Vzok is asking if Joe is here today. Yes, he is. He's just currently upstairs because he hasn't been part of the live stream, so he was not trying to step in on this one. But he is here. Yeah, he's upstairs. I was thinking about at some point in the future, probably when we get done to The Witcher, or if there's a week that Felicia needs off, maybe have Joe come in and just talk about painting stuff. If you want, we can just wind him up, hit the gunpla button, and let him go for 2 hours. It'd be no problem at all. And I just cut it out without seam allowance.
Yeah, you do need seam allowance.
Yeah.
Although you could just add it to the base.
I suppose. I can draw it and then redo it. Is this going to work out though? Is that too pointy? That might be too pointy too.
Well, by the time you turn it, it's going to change the point.
Oh, that's true. No, it's bigger than the other one.
It does. Sometimes, like, I've drawn this on small scale and I've done it big scale.
The point makes it to the strap. Even here, it's just on the horizon.
It goes to just about the halfway point.
Okay. So this is wrong. Okay.
So, like, I've drawn it out a few times going, how high up do you do that point? And it's always slightly more than I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And plus seam allowance.
And plus seam allowance. Seam allowance. No, it's important.
Sorry.
All right. So what is the width of a strap less than half? So 8. So make it about 3.5. Make it 3 5/8. Some fun, like, anti-smart people measurement units, fractions and stuff.
Trust me, I like the metric system. I kind of know the metric system. I understand it. It's not hard. I can count. But I grew up with standard, with imperial, right? And I can eyeball inches. And because of it, I know the fractions for the inches just because I've lived with it forever. So it's not intuitive for me to go, oh, yeah, that's going to be 8 centimeters.
Yeah.
Working on it, because I know I've got an international audience, and I know the rest of you civilized folk actually have a reasonable system of measurement.
1 unit. There you go.
Yeah, 1 unit. It's a unit.
Units. Okay.
If anybody's interested, yeah, I was very much trying to imply that America's not civilized. Have you read our headlines?
I try not to at this point.
Yeah, I try not to too. And generally speaking, I try not to be political on my stream or my show, because that's I don't need that. Also, I'm not a terribly political person anyway. But it's very easy for me to make fun of my country. I got no issues there.
So I'm doing it the cheating way on the foam pieces, and I'm going to do it the real way on the shoulder pieces. And since you're working on the
shoulder?
Shoulder, I'm going to start with the cheating way on the lower half of the arm.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure. I know you explained to me what the cheating way was before, but I'm not remembering right now.
Okay, so I'm going to actually sew through the vinyl fabric and foam on the shoulders because I can.
Okay.
But because we're using foam
because there's foam
for
backing.
the bottom,
Right.
I still want the stitching or the appearance of the stitching, but we're just going to glue it.
That's right.
So that's my cheating. I'm going to do my stitching,
just on the
trim
vinyl.
away the seam allowance, and then use the back of the vinyl to glue it.
Gotcha.
To the foam. Just, there's a million ways to do the same thing, and I'm doing it 2 different ways.
Well, we got 2 different types of padding too, so that's good. That's all good.
Well, that's why, kind of, sort of, a little bit.
All caps. See, oh, it's Nicole. Inches suck. I only work in metric when modeling in Fusion. Yeah, if you're going to model anything in the computer, you're going to want to use metric. Why? Because you can't type out, 14.8 millimeters accurately in imperial. It's like it's just repeating numbers. Vozio is asking, what is the biggest thing I've ever made? If you do the live stream, some of you guys regularly, you'll hear some of the same things come up regularly. Well, I got so many stories. The single largest thing I made starts to become sets, basically.
Yeah, sets.
Yeah. And
I dressed somebody up as a car once.
Yeah.
Like, you helped me with that. Like, I
Right.
would not have been able to. That was when props and costumes kind of.
Right.
But yeah.
So as far as
cars.
dressed up a couple cars, yeah, we did.
Sets are bigger than cars, but.
Still.
But I feel like that's a prop costume.
Right. Like, I would consider the Star Trek bridge more of a kind of a prop set because it's not flats, walls, and an apartment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think of those as being like we did the Oval Office for Kanye West for president on Smosh, which was a set that we had to bang out really quick over a weekend. While I also had to be at PBS doing live pledge breaks during the weekend. So that was fun, but I think the Bat Cave was more of an interesting set to do for Smosh because it was all this weird crinkled paper that had to be sprayed, and it had rooms in a hallway and all this other stuff going on. Yeah, the Bat Cave is probably cooler than the White House anyway. But yeah.
But still, I feel like sets tend to be bigger because they're full of props.
They're full of props.
And they're more fun. Like, I had to make a Tokyo apartment that was haunted, but it was all blue and hot pink and yellow. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, when you beat it with a bat, it had to come to color, I was told.
Right.
Remember?
Oh, that's right, yes.
I got the weirdest description. I need the 80s Tokyo apartment.
Right.
To be all blue.
All blue, I remember the blue.
Really messy and dirty, but when he starts beating it up with a bat, it needs to, like, explode with color.
Right, so you had a lot of stuff that was painted on the inside fuchsia, and the outside was that kind of, not royal blue, and it wasn't cornflower blue, it's a real pastel, it's gonzo blue. It's a real pastel blue, it's yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because, you gotta love challenges like that. Sorry, I lost my phone.
It's all right.
But, yeah. But I think those are my largest. In the Batcave bathroom, that one's always fun.
Batcave bathroom was always fun.
I need this to be tall to reach the counter, but when I'm sewing, I'm too tall.
Mr. Bentley is saying I should make another channel where I'm making action figures that are homemade, or make figurines from homemade to bring lots of more viewers, likely younger viewers. To be honest, I have a lot of younger viewers, which is actually pretty cool, and I feel grateful for that. I've talked to a couple of them recently through Facebook because of COVID, and we shared birthdays, and so that was fun. I've done custom action figures in the past. I've done a lot of repaints of Star Trek figures, did a lot of repaints and some resculpting of Star Wars figures. I actually managed to do a couple of Star Wars figures from the reissues. Remember when Kenner's first Star Wars figures came out? They were all still superhero, because that was what Kenner was used to being. Yeah, that's what they're used to sculpting. That's what the sculptors are used to doing. So from that line, I made a couple of figures that hadn't been released yet, like the female Rodean from the special edition of Jedi. And I did CZ3, I think he is. It's the white droid that's walking around throughout the entire original trilogy, but is never actually on screen. And he's actually only walking, I think, in Mos Eisley. There's one scene in Mos Eisley where he's walking around. Otherwise, he's disassembled in the Ugonaut smelting room on the Cloud City, and he's disassembled in the droid torture room in Jabba's palace. But made one of those, and that was a lot of fun, and I actually tried to recast them and stuff, and tried to make bubbles. But I'll be honest, just doing this one channel, one video a week, is a full-time job, and so doing something else that's like that, probably not going to happen, because I literally don't have the time to be that crafty.
There's only one Odin.
There's only one Odin, and I'm still trying to get just enough ahead that maybe I can have a weekend on occasion again. Maybe, because right now I'm pretty much working 7 days a week trying to get the videos done because I'm not budgeting my time correctly. It's mostly my fault, but that's how it's working out. Oh, Zippity Zack Attack. Do I have any tips for working with cardboard? He's new to cosplaying and is making a shield.
Sharp razor blades.
Yeah,
replacing them, because cardboard dulls scissors and blades really quickly, and you'll like your life a lot better with sharp objects.
Absolutely. Funny thing is, EVA foam dulls razor blades very quickly too. Something that I picked up. This is something I saw Evil Ted had first.
I always
where to go.
From you. Did I steal it?
No,
okay.
No,
I think it's in this one. There it is. Right there. Nope.
Nope, that's a flashlight. There it is.
There it is.
So it's with the Sharpies. So Evil Ted had this. It's a Kershaw honing blade. And so what you do with this, it's very similar to what chefs use, right? When you're sharpening up their knives. It's the same idea. You just, you actually want oil on it too. I don't have the oil right now. And what you're doing is you're honing up the blade, and that makes a huge difference when cutting. You can go from trying to cut foam or cardboard or foam core, and it'll actually curl on the bottom because the tip isn't quite cutting cleanly through, and so it kind of curls and tears on the bottom side. And you do this a little bit, and you cut cleanly through the whole thing. And that's what a sharp blade's going to do for you. Other thing with a cardboard, it has a grain. Foam doesn't have a grain, but corrugated cardboard has a grain where it's only going to want to bend one way. And if you have paper on both sides still, it's going to facet, much like a low polygon thing on a computer. If you want to get a real curve, most cardboard, you can pick a side and peel a layer off and expose the corrugations, which are just the up and down middle layer. And if you only have one flat outer layer and the corrugations, you can actually get a very smooth radius. Aside from that, cardboard needs a lot more internal structure, but cardboard's fantastic because it's cheap. Probably every one of you watching has some cardboard in the house that you could probably cut up and not miss. Definitely go for it. Hot glue, white glue, tape, razor blades, scissors, cardboard, make whatever. Because the more you make with it, the more you just work with it, the more you'll figure it out.
Yep.
And it's fun. I can remember being 12 and going back to action figures, taking cardboard and toothpicks and hot gluing, which my parents loved, this weird like catwalk action figure fort thing up the front of the stone fireplace in the living room. Right? It was this really neat thing, like ladders. It's kind of like an Ewok village side of the cliff type of thing. And my memory was huge. It was probably like a layer and a layer. But if it had known then that rubbing alcohol pops hot glue off of most anything, I'm sure my parents would have been a lot happier. But didn't know that then. But anyway, cardboard, great fun. It's good for patterns.
I'm just cheating, grabbing ones with lines in them.
Go ahead. I'm yakking away. Do I need to help you with anything?
You want to cut this out of the vinyl?
Sure.
I'm just prepping the strips.
Okay. Are you
what?
Are you comfortable with this? This being the final size, this being the over?
Yeah, that looks like a good.
Okay.
That looks like something to work with because we have a little bit of wiggle room with the.
Okay, I'll leave. Oh,
edge.
right, with the thing. I can leave a little more on the bottom too.
No, you're fine. I think this is good.
Okay.
I think that is good.
There's a staple. Let me throw that on the floor because it's good for dogs. Boy, the internet's going to tear me a new one. All right, let me turn this over so I can actually mark on it. Is there a grain we're worried about? No. Okay.
Technically there is, but no.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Just quickly trying to read a comment. Mr. Bentley thanking me for videos that they had watched about 3D printing. It was really inspiring, and that's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Bentley. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the video and found inspiration. I am always honored to hear that anybody gets inspiration to be creative from watching me cobble something together. You run around blindly trying to figure out how to make stuff because you just got this weird desire to hot glue crap to the fireplace, and you end up putting it on the internet, and people like it. It's great. So, thank you. I'm very pleased and happy to hear that it inspired you.
I like that line in the middle so much. It makes it so much easier.
Oh, okay. Do you need lines in the middle of the other ones?
No, because the other ones are going to be folded in half.
Okay.
It's just the ones that I'm doing the cheating seam.
Okay.
I'm doing it upside down where I can see, and I just fold, and so I don't have to think about it. And then I get to cut off the excess, and I know it's all even.
Right. You got Toby at her feet. There's no dog in the blanket right now.
Yeah, they're both right here, as opposed to there.
I don't see Bruno.
Bro.
It's all right.
Oh, he's over there on the chair.
Oh, good for him. He's on the chair.
Yeah, he's like, don't sit on the floor like the dog.
Like a dog? No.
No.
Now, it's making me looking around is reminding me I've had a lot of people ask for a tour of the shop, and I still have yet to secure a camera that would make it easy to walk around and have focus change and deal with the big difference in light, because the lenses I have here are all very set for the workspace. And if we point the camera somewhere else, the image is going to be really dark and it'll be really blurry and require a lot of additional fiddling that'll probably make people seasick. Okay, so I'm going to need to fine. I'll just draw it again. I didn't. Because we need to notch this so it folds, right? And I need to notch this so it folds.
You need the tip off.
Just the tip off totally? Okay.
Yeah, because then the two sides will fold over and lap each other.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, because this is greater than 90. I figured I'd have to do kind of like this and this towards the tip, so when it folds over, it doesn't overlap.
Well, you're
too
gonna,
much.
Yeah, but a straight line off the top and then just a little bit of the
Okay.
extras. I don't know. There's no right way to do anything. It's just a way.
Right.
So
This is a one-off, not mass production, so we'll just make it work.
I want these on a curve when I glue them.
Okay. Give me...
That's okay. I will stab them into our dress form.
Yeah, you can stab into the dress form. I can probably get you a tube of some sort, a cardboard tube or something. But you can't stab into a cardboard tube.
But we could put, you don't have rubber bands. Otherwise, I say we could rubber band it into place and hold it like that. But
You're right.
You don't own rubber bands.
I got a box with a bunch of your hair ties in it.
Yeah, but my hair ties aren't.
Aren't big enough, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just stab it into the dress form.
Okay. Go grab the Thorcules.
Hercules. Why do I keep wanting to call the dress form Kevin?
It's a good name. Up was a fun movie. Alrighty. And then, hi. I'm going to cut Right. So I've got my line. I know it's really far away. I usually punch in on my finished videos, but I got my line here. This is my intended seam. This is where I want the final sewing to happen. So all this is extra to fold over. Well, because this is an outside curve, I actually need to just do a few little cuts to allow it to fold over. And I'm going to try and cut almost to the line, but not quite, because I don't want to have the cut be exposed on the edge when it does get folded over. So you end up kind of doing this type of a thing with it. And I'll probably go grab some spray glue and spray glue this so I could fold the seam allowance over and it'll just stay.
Why spray glue? You can just use rubber cement.
Okay.
It's a little easier to work with. Than spray glue.
Okay.
For that particular application.
Sure. Just need to give it, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. At least that's...
No, that's fine. We're just using spray glue earlier, and it's like, oh, this is great, psst, done, moving on, and it was kind of set really quick. This one I'll have to wait a moment, not like I can't.
But spray glue gets everywhere.
Well, yeah, there's that.
And then it doesn't...
You don't like huffing spray glue? Okay, Toby doesn't like huffing spray glue. I'll use this stuff for Toby. Not like these fumes are good for him either. So we are in a shop. We're not wearing a mask. We're going to be using contact cement. Right above us, you can't see it, there is a vent going to a room outside of this room, which blows clean air in. Doesn't mean that we are fume free, but it does mean that I am in a well-designed, well-ventilated area. There's also on the far side of the camera, well, over on that side of the camera, there's a sneeze. But over there, we have an evacuation fan set up in the room that Joe's going to be doing, what do you call it, airbrushing and 3D printing and stuff in. So that's got a permanent evacuation fan. So there is a little bit of a flow with fresh air coming in right over the workstation and then going through a couple of filters through that room and back out of the building. So I'm not as worried about the fumes, is the point.
And that's why I'm always on this side of that thing, because that thing's freezing cold.
Right. You can't see it, but the vents, there's a 14-inch vent, 12-inch vent right here, pointed almost straight down. I got a little piece of foam core on it to kick it more towards me.
So I'm comfortable here. Freezing! Comfortable.
Right. It's one of those HVAC units that works a lot like a car one, where it just pumps out freezing cold air and it's supposed to mix with the room and then make it an overall comfortable temperature. So as it comes out of the vent, it's cold. It's nice.
So those are the lower arms, but I'm still using the dress form because I could just directly stab it into to get the curves that I wanted.
Uh-huh.
But that being here just seemed like
it would block everything,
too much.
Yeah.
But I want to glue on these edges with that stuff.
That being said, the vent isn't on. I can smell these fumes way more than I usually can.
So these are ready to be glued onto that. But I don't want to stab with pins because pin marks are permanent on vinyl and leather.
Right.
Where most woven fabrics, they'll disappear. That's why I use them all the time.
Okay.
But vinyl, you'll have a permanent pin mark, so I don't want to pin them.
Okay.
Do we have any clamps, C47s?
I just have a couple of, yeah, most of the pinchy things are huge. I have just a couple of C47s because they all walked off the studio, Studio A.
Oh, those gold ones, I know those ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of these days I need to go get another. I bought a pack. They all wandered. Just like, you know, bought a pack of painter's tape. It's all wandered. Actually, I've used most of it in this case, but there's been times that a video shoot will come through and like all my painter's tape disappears and all my trick line disappears.
Usually that's my fault, and I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to try to point fingers. It's not just you. There's a number of people that
I feel like
you and I have worked a lot in the past, and it's been a lot of like, whatever here,
Yeah, So what do people say?
Don't know. I'm just gonna turn that on.
No right way to do anything. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yep, pretty much.
Up is a lovely movie. Sorry, they clicked and now I can't finish reading. That said, one.
Oh, well, you can scroll up if you want to try.
I was reading and it.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to chat. Hello from Israel. Hello, Israel. I got the greetings from Germany. Right on. Sorry, the hairdryer is probably drowning out. You probably can't hear Felicia at all.
Odin, where do you get your styrene plastic? I'd like to follow your Good Samaritan from Hellboy.
Oh, right on. Which I very inappropriately named. It's just called The Samaritan. Whoops. There's a short story called The Good Samaritan, so I mixed that up. That's okay. That's just a me. The styrene that I get, I bought at Tap Plastics. It's a West Coast plastic chain. They have a number of retail stores, and they have a remnants bin where you can go and get because the plastic still comes in pretty much a 4 foot by 8 foot sheet because we're US, everything's 4 foot by 8 foot. So then they cut it down to what the customers want. When they get to a certain size, they'll just put it out in the remnants bin and you can get it very cheaply. Interstate Plastics, there's one in Sacramento. There's a few of them. They are more of a shipping company, more of a will call only company. So TAP is retail, TAP, the amazing plastics place. Then Interstate Plastics, their warehouse locations, there's one in Sac, they also have a will call in the front, which has a remnants bin, and they're even cheaper because they're not trying to sell retail, which, you know, there's the employee cost and the things that go in with retail, so they don't have that overhead because they're just shipping stuff out, manufacturing stuff. So when I can get styrene and ABS remnants from them, it's real cheap. Sintra, same thing, the foamed PVC sheets, that's the same places I get that from.
Depends on if you want it now or later.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you get it from a physical store or a digital store?
Or an online store, exactly. And I almost always do a physical.
In your bio below that video?
Usually mention where I get it when I'm using it in the video. It's not in every video.
Okay. I was just wondering if there were links.
I try to put links. It's okay. I try to put links.
Again, do you want to get it now, later, or where you're at? Yeah.
You can also find styrene plastic is often called high impact styrene plastic, and you can get that as well as Sintra at a lot of sign shops. You get places that will print signs. Well, that's the type of plastic they print on, or the type of plastic they'll use for vacuum forming to make signs. And sometimes you can get scraps from them.
I'm seeing hellos from Sweden, Wales, and Poland.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, hello, Sweden. Hello, Wales. Hello, Poland. I tried to incorporate, well, I don't really think I do Welsh, but I tried to incorporate, all those as languages as subtitles. I'm going to say the wrong names and embarrass myself. So.
Nice. Oh, and Finland too.
Finland, nice. Yes, I've done Finnish subtitles. I don't always do my own subtitles, so I don't always have the same consistent ones, and I think Finnish is one of the ones that doesn't happen every time.
Okay.
It's not intentional, guys.
Isn't that like a really complicated language?
I have no idea. I only poorly speak English.
Okay. Yeah, I have an American education in English, so...
Yeah, I have an American education, right.
I'm educated.
I am a product of the American public school system.
I know. Agree.
It's amazing. I stay out of traffic.
Okay.
Yeah, she has a degree. I don't.
Never heard of Tap Plastics. I'm from the Midwest, so go to the digital store.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
Don't
Midwest.
you love that we have the interwebs? Welcome to the future.
Welcome to the future. You can order from Tap. You can order from Interstate Plastics. There's lots of online plastic stores you can order plastic from. There's another independent store here in Sacramento called Amazing Plastics that I think is the front for their bong manufacturing. But still, they're a bunch of really nice guys.
Where's Amazing Plastics at?
They're on Sunrise and 50 near Coloma.
All right, I always thought that was I just assume everybody's Tap Plastics.
Oh, okay.
That's not good, but...
No, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
Tap Plastics is on Auburn Boulevard, the one that was down on Florin closed, so they're only on Auburn. And I was thinking about that too. Because Sacramento is one of the few places that had 2 Tap stores for years.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
But yeah, no, the Tap Plastics has a smaller area that the stores are built in than In-N-Out does, In-N-Out Burger. So
You want to top stitch that?
Sure.
Since you're closer.
Sure.
Greetings from Scotland.
From Scotland.
Scotland.
Not Scotland Yard, but Scotland.
Scotland, that's cool. And France. And Russia.
Right on.
Wow.
What do we got? We're doing that. So
These are for the lower arm.
right. I'm just trying to see
Oh.
where your seam is at, and it's about the edge of the foot. Not quite, the inside edge of the foot.
Well, that one is its own piece, and it's just it's a top stitch along the edge.
Along the very, very edge?
We'll see the reference photo. See?
Not from here.
It's not the same as the things. It's just...
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
So how...
It's up to your discretion visually, what you like.
Gotcha, because I can't focus that far. I can see it's
Just
girl.
follow along the edge of the foot, and you should be perfect.
Okay.
Inside edge.
Inside edge, this
Yeah, that part.
edge here? Okay.
Okay. Reference photo. By the way, greetings from Illinois.
Greetings from Illinois.
Our constant weather changes. One day rainy, next day sunny, next day it's freezing. We've been in summer since last summer.
California's been in summer pretty much since last summer.
Yeah.
We're not quite out of fire season yet. We no longer have like summer and autumn. We have like spring, fire, winter.
Yeah, it's pretty dry out there. It's been nice and toasty, nice and warm. The other day it felt like winter when I woke up. It was nice, and then it
Right.
warmed up. That's the belt. What's your favorite tool you and one you wish you owned?
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite one you owned and the one you wish you owned?
Gotcha. Okay, that's kind of a...
That's a loaded question because there's a lot of different tools for different reasons.
Exactly, and you'll have a favorite for what you're working on.
Yeah.
You know, like overall, like just blanket, my favorite tool, razor knife.
Yes, you use that thing all the time.
This particular one I've had since the 90s. And yeah, I use it all the time. But like you're saying, you need different tools for different jobs. I don't think I would use a razor knife to fix a toilet. I don't think. I haven't tried. I've tried fixing toilets, but
ways to fix a toilet using a
razor knife, right?
Well, you could use it to strip the caulking.
Yeah, just with the
And
caulking,
you
and you could
can-
use it to
Really stab the shit
right.
out.
Yeah, just stab the shit out of the wall.
That shouldn't be on.
We can talk about excrement. So as a generic blanket, I would say that. One I don't own, okay, so I'm seriously coveting a laser cutter. I've got to use one at a couple of maker spaces. There is a lot of setup that goes into a laser cutter that people don't talk about, which I think is kind of funny.
That's why I have been not owning my own or trying to overly go. At first, I think I really looked into laser cutter when I wanted to play with this foam.
Right.
But outside of that, the prep work and all the other work that goes into it before you can easily just cut out your project.
Right, exactly.
Just seems a little
because there's the major setup of I need a space for it to live where it's not going to move, where it can stay level, where it can have venting, so I'm not worried about the fumes that are coming off of whatever I'm cutting. Regardless if it's toxic or wood or whatever, it's going to stink because you're cooking stuff. But then watching Max Kirkland over at the Dallas Makerspace, who's a wonderful guy and a hell of a lot of fun to hang out with. He was with the Gonktoroid and the Darksaber. That was that trip. He spent 2 hours trying to get the Darksaber blade to print out. Now, a little bit of that is Max's expertise with the programs that he's trying to use. So it's not totally the tool's fault. There's a human mix in there too, but I'm going to be a human mixed in there. And how much learning curve is involved with like, all right, I've got my vector file, I want to make it cut, and so that's, once it works, it's fast. Getting it to set up to work sometimes feels like I should just cut it with a razor knife.
Well, when your cutting skills are honed and you know what you can do.
Is that a pun?
I guess. Yeah, no, it's what you're comfortable with, and I feel like I've been a little afraid of razor. Yeah.
But I would totally be, doing stuff with Armorsmith Designer and having a laser cutter, those two would go together really well because Armorsmith Designer will export a vector file, and then you could send that to the laser cutter to cut out your foam for you, as well as do etchings and make top marks that don't cut all the way through the foam, so you know where stuff is, where fold lines go, or you can just put the details in, the panel lines in that you want as it's cutting out. And I think that would be fantastic. But there's setup time with that, but that's a good trade-off. So I did a big Gundam costume. If we did another one with a laser cutter, being able to do it like that, it would cut out some hours of cutting that we would trade instead for hours of prep work on the file.
And it also depends on how many you're making.
Depends on how many you're making, exactly.
If you do a lot of the prep work in advance, then it comes out, scale of manufacturing.
And anything you prep for the right side, you can mirror and you have the left side. Yeah.
So depends on how big the project is, how much time you're investing in it, but
So that's the big one. Other than that, I think a lathe would be cool. I've got one behind me now. I hardly ever use it, so maybe having a lathe isn't as cool as I thought it was going to be.
Question, is the Witcher armor Geralt of Riviera's armor? Yes.
Yes.
Game 3, Witcher 3, Geralt starting armor, I believe.
Yeah, the vanilla armor for game. That's what we're going for.
The iconic, you see it, oh, that's Witcher.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I know he has really cool armor in the show, and I love that armor.
He's got a ton of armor, yeah.
And that totally can be done with vinyl foam, so it's the plates.
That's the plates, right. I saw someone do that for Broderick for, I think it was the character's name, for Game of Thrones. It looked great.
Oh, that stuff looks amazing, and it's easy, but I wanted to play with this. So.
Was that Beiser? I think Beiser Builds is the one that did that, I think. But it was really cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just want to give my friends credit.
Yay, friends.
Yay,
Keep
friends.
doing cool shit.
Okay. Alrighty. I think I've got the top stitch on it. It's on low. It is warming up.
Where's the?
It's, where did I put that?
I don't know.
I moved it because it needed to be out of the way so I could get shots last night. So I'm looking for the sewing pad that we can iron on.
Yeah. I'm glad you knew what I meant by the.
Do. Do. So I walked off of the microphone. What were you trying to say?
Hi to some guy that I mispronounced his name, but hi, people.
Oh. Hello, people.
Hello from Malaysia.
Oh, sweet. Hello, Malaysia. So here's your pad that you can safely iron on. It was stuck under the table inside of stuff. But anyway.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think I'm gonna get that side set up. Trade. Kit metal. Okay.
I'll just set. Sorry.
There's a Toby.
I scared Toby because I kick stuff. So I'm in my little triangle space here every day for going on 3 years now. I'm very used to what's around me, and I try to keep the floor clear. So the occasions when I leave something on the floor out of place, I kick it every time, all the time. It's amazing. Trying to look here. Spicy Milk. Since you made a shotgun, will I do anything Doom related? Maybe a Doomslayer costume? I probably won't do a full Doomslayer costume. I might do some more Doom stuff, but I'll be honest, I don't have anything planned right now. But I don't plan that far ahead because stuff pops up that I'm not aware of. So I've only got costumes planned for or video or projects planned for the next few weeks, and some of those can change, and they do. Like next week is definitely going to be the Patreon voted on Halloween prop. So it'll be out a week before Halloween, but that's good.
Gives you time to build it.
Gives you time to build it, right. And the last time I looked, which has been a couple of days because I've been wrapped up in a few other projects, Ash's hand from Evil Dead, his mechanical hand, and the Lament configuration from Hellraiser were neck and neck as far as who was going to win. So I'm going to have to actually... There's still time to go onto Patreon and vote. And that's open to any level of Patreon. That's not... There's no restriction on that other than you got to be there. Yeah, so I'll be looking at that a little heavier probably tomorrow, trying to decide which one I'm going to start because I need to start working on it tomorrow or Wednesday. And I have put thought into how I would do both. So it'll be interesting to see which one comes up with. That's a good question. Oculus 2003 says, Odin, how would you tackle a tapered sword like a rapier? So that level of a tapered sword, that's going to be really tricky. And I can understand why you wouldn't want to use a plastic sword because it's going to look like a bent. Yeah. And of course, anything metal is just a no-go at cons. So Three Musketeers is kind of tough. I would probably... A wooden dowel would be okay. I'd be afraid of having it snap just by fucking around at a con. So,
Very, very true. Garden stakes?
Not garden stakes. So now back to tap plastics. Sorry. What I've got here is a graphite rod that I got at Tap. And you can get these online too. I also hear these called kite spars because it's a consistent size from end to end. They don't taper like the golf clubs, but this specific one is graphite. And you can get these smaller and they're fairly strong and have a good, I can't get the noise right now. They'll survive being whipped around. And you could, if you wanted to have the tapered things on it.
Wow, that doesn't even bow very much.
No, not much at all.
Yes, use this.
And there's also carbon fiber rods. So this is actually carbon fiber.
Yeah, this one has more of a bend and it looks like it's thicker, but it has more of a bend than this one.
It's a thinner wall. And technically this is stronger.
Technically this is stronger?
Technically this is stronger because of carbon fiber versus the graphite. Even though it flexes.
Yeah, no, I'm just going for I want to do this.
So Tap, this guy who is 3/8 of an inch wide, or what is that? Maybe 8 millimeter. It's $8, and I purchased it almost a year ago to the day. Or I shouldn't say that.
Information on the tag?
Well, no, the tag says 10/29.19, which is actually the date it was tagged, not the date I purchased it. So that was a little incorrect.
But it's been, yeah.
Yeah, but I think I would go with that. So you could easily build a handle on top of it. You get going with Three Musketeers rapier, right? As long as I got that right. Those aren't foils, those are rapiers. Then you can do the cup over it. And What the Foam, which is a heavily rubberized foam, you can find that on Amazon. That would work really well for doing the edges because it's dense. It actually, when you burn it with a Dremel, it smells like rubber. And it's a great hybrid between EVA foam and Worbla. And it rides that middle price point too. It costs more than EVA foam, but it's cheaper than Worbla. So you could easily use that smaller rod, like this size, to build up the sides to get that plus shape that I'm accustomed to seeing. I guess no, a rapier's still got more of a blade, doesn't it? But yeah, I would do that. Now, as far as making it curved, you would be kind of stuck with hiding the curve. When I did the samurai sword, I ended up with a straight rod. Sure. Ended up with a straight rod, but I had the. I hid the curve by having the blade start on this end where the rod was all the way out on the leading edge, and then I kind of curved it and then curved it back. So the rod inside was still straight, but I kind of bent the blade around it so it started at the blade, about the middle, it was at the back of the blade, and then it was up at the tip of the blade again. So visually it had a gentle long swoop to it, but I didn't have to make the graphite rod swoop.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, thanks. Tried.
Yeah.
How are we doing? Oh, we're at 1 o'clock. So it's the top of the hour. For those of you who have tuned in and have no idea what you clicked on, thank you for coming to the Odin Makes live stream. I'm here today with Felicia, and we are working on Witcher armor. This is the vanilla starting armor that Geralt has in The Witcher 3. At least that's the plan. What I have is foam chainmail. This is available from was it Foam Armory? It's Ben Eadie's chainmail. It's on William Shakespeare's channel right now. It's today's video. Adam Savage has had Ben on it using the same chainmail stuff. So we're using that to make the chainmail pads for Geralt's armor as well as the midsection, and just kind of going for it. And otherwise, talking a lot. How's it going?
The heat is making it malleable, but the cool isn't setting it as much as I would like. But
okay.
This is for the stitching it on one.
Right, right.
We have to glue the other one on, and we have to stitch this one on. So we're all over the place. I just haven't started a lot of things.
Great. Well, I keep talking, so.
It's okay. There's a lot of people keep asking questions.
Excellent.
So.
I don't know how to help you on that.
It's okay. We don't have to do this part yet. We can do that one first, and then we can do.
Okay. Cool.
So we need to glue these.
Move these to the foam ones.
The lower upper arm.
The lower, and we're gluing the straight edges first, because the curved edge on the top of the arm is the top of the seam.
Yes, we're doing these edges first.
Which, yeah.
So we don't have to worry about the curve yet.
Okay.
We can just do it on the flat piece.
Just have some quick visitors. You guys all right?
Oh, yeah. Just to see how things are going.
Sweet. By the way, Joe, if you want, run over here and say hi. People asked if you were here today.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, sure. Guess what? They know who you are.
Hi.
Bye.
Hey, it's Joe. That's at next grade Gunpla on Instagram.
Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, you're welcome. How's the edit going?
Oh, it's great. I'm just rendering the GH3, and then I'll work on the rest.
Oh, wow.
It's all ready right now.
Wow, pre-rendering already. That's sweet.
So I'll be doing the rest of the camera angles.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Yay. And I know this week's video is a little bit shorter. I've done a lot of 20-minute videos recently. This one I think is hitting like 13, 14, but it's fun. Anyway.
I'm excited. So straight edges.
Straight edges. Okay, which is going to be along the perpendicular sides.
Just this one's already these loops.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay, which again is different always different the way I look at it. You and I see the grain of the chainmail totally differently every time.
And I still look at it differently.
Okay, so you specifically want these edges. So in my mind, I'm doing these in line with the direction of the, okay.
Yeah. Those just need to be
So it's just,
kind of glued there and clamped to stay,
right,
and then we can trim it off.
okay.
And the back edges don't have to be pretty, so I didn't fold or stitch those.
So see, this one's got the line mark you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
How much over do we want? About the line mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it lands pretty on the line.
Where it lands pretty on the line, all right.
Right?
Yeah, that actually sounds like the best plan, where it lands pretty on the line.
Oh, there's the sticky stuff.
Okay.
So.
R1BZOR Ribzer is asking, how much of a build do I plan before starting on it? Which is a fantastic question. Sometimes a lot. It's one of those, hey, it depends, which is such a wishy-washy answer. There are builds that I'm concerned about what the challenge is going to be, and some of those builds I definitely plan ahead on. And it used to be when I was commuting to go to work, I did a lot of that during the windshield time. I'm in traffic, driving along, listening to music that has no words, so that's not distracting me. And I'm thinking about how I'm going to build it. And I'm actually doing I'm a very visual thinker, so I'm doing a lot of visual thinking on how it's going to assemble together, how it's going to fold, where I'm going to cut it, stuff like that.
A lot of the work is done mentally
Yes.
before you ever bust
start
it out. You will think of like a million ways you're going to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then a million ways you're going to do it the next day after you've slept on it.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's still times that I'll get those crazy aha moments in the shower, because apparently I've trained myself to more relax and zone out and think about creative things while in the shower. So that still happens because the commute doesn't happen anymore. But there is a lot of it that it gets to a level that I have this built, I have that built, I have this other thing built, and they go together, and then I kind of lose the project having it juggled in my head. So at that point, it becomes a voyage of exploration, a voyage of discovery as far as how I'm going to make it work.
And sometimes it's just forcing it to do it no matter what, even though you know you're not doing it the right way and there's better ways to do it anyways.
Yep, pretty much. And another thing that I'm sure a lot of you can tell, I build stuff once. I don't pre-build things. I'm not planning it out beforehand, then building a hero one on the show. The one I'm building is the one I'm building, and the end of the video is the only one that I've built.
Yeah, sometimes I hate to stop and do the prototypes or the muslins or the...
Right, which is smart. I mean, and there's people that's absolutely the way they work, and I will never, ever want to badmouth that, because
there's a value to it.
there's a huge value to it. I've read on the Replica Prop Forum, your third one is always your best one.
Oh, definitely. Although sometimes that first one, there's that luck factor
Yeah.
of it just magically circumstances and you can't replicate it again.
Right. Which also I keep building in areas that I'm used to. So I know the rules, I know what I can get away with. So it's easier for me to build one because I've set myself up in my yard and I know how I can play in my yard and keep it safe.
Yeah, I'm always trying to do something new. There's the stuff
Right.
that I know how to do, but I always know, well, I can figure out how to knit enough to make this project. I can
Yep.
figure out how to do this enough to make that. And
Right.
I feel like that's how my skills have been built by.
Oh, totally is.
This weird vision. How am I going to do it?
No, it totally is.
Yeah.
And the inflatable costume was definitely a project like that for me. And thank you for that, helping
You're
with
very
that.
welcome. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. And yeah, the third one was the best one. The blue one was the best one.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, tips when you're making multiples of something. You make the first one first because you're going to make all your mistakes and you don't want it on all of them.
Right.
You make your first one first and then you do your other 6 all together.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
Because if you have to make 7 or 8 or 9 or 10.
And you're cutting stuff out and it's a 1/4 inch off, they're all going to be a 1/4 inch off, or worse, it'll multiply if you're putting stuff together, and by the time you get to the end, you're 2 inches off. So, yeah.
Yes, just if you're bulk costuming, make one first and then do the other ones. Even though you think you just, I'm going to do them all at the same time.
Nope.
No.
The second one will usually go faster anyway.
Yeah. But I do the first one and then I do the other ones all at the same time, so it just feels like I have more accomplished
Okay.
in general. It's, tricking your brain into going, oh yeah.
Right. And audiobooks are your friend.
I like taking lectures.
Yeah, lectures are good too.
I really, really like those open source lectures that you can just sit through a class and, oh shoot, by the time I'm done with this part of the project, I've graduated. No.
Right. Again. I'm now one lecture smarter.
It usually get through 2 lectures, honey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first thing, and then next week hits. But yeah.
Right. And as far as me talking about setting myself up within my yard, a lot of that has to do with I'm trying to put a video out every week. So I can't do a huge amount of R&D every week because I don't have the time for it, right? Not if I want to do little things like sleep or maybe actually go home and see my family. So, yeah.
I realized I only prepped 4 of those for you. I should do 4 more.
That's okay.
The small side.
I only need 4 at the moment.
I know, but I should prep these.
Yeah,
4
please
more
do.
strips. And I put the sewing machine away.
Oh, right.
You
Well,
know,
whatever.
trying to not over, you know, when things
Well,
get
there's
crazy
only
when you craft.
it's only a 6-foot table with 2 people. When we're making millions of dollars, we'll get a bigger studio with a 30-foot table where we'll have to yell at each other, and it'll be much better for social distancing.
And could it be glass?
And it could be glass, so you
Okay,
can,
that's my request.
or at least part of it, yeah. Because glass will be flat and glass will be underlit, and those 2 things are both.
And I like that
Gold.
my glass table, I can just dump my paint directly on the table. I know that's stupid.
Oh, okay.
I use it as my palette.
Okay. No,
Like,
because that'll clean.
hot glued on my table. Like, I like having a glass work surface. You can shine a light up from the bottom.
Okay.
You could do your tricks. Just
Okay.
my preference over the years of having to craft on surfaces. I have preferences now.
So I used to work for a high-tech company called Play Incorporated. I bring them up on occasion. And we're at a trade show, and they had redesigned how all the desks are going to work for the people sitting at the computer to make the software work. And for some reason, the computers aren't responding. Everything's set up. The computers are set up. Everything's plugged in. Everything should work, but there's no response from any mouse on any of the computers, right? The keyboards are working, but the mouse isn't. And the tech guys are going nuts trying to figure it out. And at one point, I come over trying to do something, and it's like, oh, the mouse isn't working. And so the first thing I do is pick up the mouse and put it against my thigh. That's just something I've done when I'm standing trying to use a computer, and it works fine. So then I look and realize, oh, all the countertops are translucent white plastic. So the laser mice or the red diode mice aren't going to work on a surface that's translucent because it's not reflecting back to the optical sensor.
So, mouse pads.
Yeah, so all of a sudden we get to run out and get a whole bunch of mouse pads for these really nice countertops that weren't supposed to have any mouse pads. And the poor IT guys, which I'm surprised they didn't think of it.
But you don't. There's
no,
the
you
digital,
don't.
And then there's the physical.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much manpower was, or because there were a couple of guys working on it. It was Ed and Chris and all those guys trying to figure it out, and it just, yeah.
Sorry.
That was fun. Yep, Carl Davies is right. The brush doesn't dry. So in the glue pot, it just lives in the glue, and it doesn't dry because it's kept in the glue itself. And the little volcanic shape of the top of the glue pot with this kind of triangular cone shaped, this is a really good vapor lock. It actually works much better than just painting out of the open can. And the other thing that some of you may not realize, the chemicals that make contact cement work, as well as the chemicals that make Plastidip work, are all the same chemical, and they're all self-solvent. So even if I let the brush dry out, like I could leave the brush out for a week and let it get all nice and crispy hard, I could fill this up with fresh glue, dump it back in, and tomorrow it would be back to a soft brush able to be used again because it'll remelt the contact cement. We used to do that all the time with acid brushes because we'd work for a night trying to put together our Gora costumes, come back the next day, oh, we need more acid brushes, throw them all away. When we finally ran out and you get desperate, you just start working with it, and all of a sudden, hey, it's a brush again. So the other thing is if you've got a lot of tension on a foam seam, right? So you got a nice tight dome with a good tight, the foam wants to open up, so it's got tension on that glued seam, and you spray it with Plastidip, it could crack open a little bit because the Plastidip will actually melt the contact cement for a millimeter or two there on the surface, and it'll open it up. So using something else as a barrier between those layers will help keep those seams from opening up when you Plastidip. House paint works great. It was a little tricky figuring out how to do it with hot glue and like sticker back paper and stuff, and that worked, but that was complicated.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you work with shit.
The more you work with shit.
The more you figure it out.
Right. You realize what it can do, what it can't do, what it wants to do that you don't want it to do. Yeah.
And how you can use that to your advantage in other projects.
Right. And that's true for talking to any craftsman doing anything. Going back to plumbing, Colin Furs, right? Colin Furs channel? Yeah, he's a plumber. So the mechanical knowledge of all the stuff that he did dealing with all those problems bled over, as well as his love for building, into doing his channel. I've talked to plumbers fixing my house and come across ideas that's like, oh, that's really kind of cool, and I could incorporate the way those tubes fit together for doing something else. And so there's value in just about everything. It's just recognizing how to relate it to what you're doing.
I completely agree with that. I was a gymnastics coach for about 15 years. That sounds
Right.
so long.
It
But
sounds so long.
sounds so long.
Gymnastics for me is just keeping my balance and standing up.
But the amount of knowledge that has helped with costuming, you'd be surprised.
No, that makes sense because the movement and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also the experience of working with leotards, stretchy fabrics, different.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've tapped into a lot of that knowledge and expertise. And none of it's taught in school.
right. However, one of the college courses I took was basic puppetry. What did we do? We cut up foam and glued it together with a barge. So I got some cool knowledge from college.
Love puppetry.
There it is. And we are doing that edge.
I know, right? You
Right.
just have to keep it consistent.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, I always see these differently. You know, she's telling me to do it this way. I always visualize them being this way, so I have to make sure I'm doing it.
It's which way your mind visually sees the ribs going.
Yep.
As long as it's the same.
Yeah, I heard my phone buzz. I don't know if it's
Is that yours or mine? Well, mine will ring. Mine's not on silent,
Right.
although it ought to be.
whatever. It's a live stream. We'll just all listen to you get a telemarketer call. No, we're all dead. So give me a second. I'll check the phone, make sure that I'm not getting told my microphone didn't die. I can see audio. It is not mission critical. Oh, it's a Patreon notice. Oh, cool, Mad Catter. Well, in case you're watching the live stream, Mad Catter, thank you. I appreciate your pledge.
Okay.
Considering the room I'm standing in is paid for by Patreon, that's why it's important. Thank you guys. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm
Brought
actually
to you by viewers like you.
brought to you by viewers like you. This program is sponsored in part by horrible fumes, dog farts, and people like you, viewers like you.
Toby's been bad today, hasn't he?
Not as bad as last week. Last week I was actually looking for something physical.
Speaking of which, put on the Toby cam.
Oh, is he there? Oh, they're there.
Right there, just hanging out.
Oh, what? Hey, there's our cam. There we are.
Toby cleaning his paw.
So the large white and splotchy dog, that's Toby. And the smaller dog, whose face is off camera, is Bruno.
Toby's very well behaved. Bruno is a little brat. We love him.
And also, Toby has his own Instagram.
Well, Toby and Bruno, they kind of.
Share it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
'cause-
Toby's Instagram account, and then we got a Bruno. So-
Okay. So Bruno
They're both on
wasn't
the
going to not put up with that.
Well, they're both on the same account.
Okay.
They're buddies.
That camera's a little low, but you can kind of see what you're doing. So I've got glue dried on the back edges, on the sides, and on the front of my chainmail piece. So now I'm going to take a bit of hemmed vinyl, which I got glue over the entire face.
So I sewed it, trimmed off the excess so that more of this is exposed, which actually will glue, where
Right.
vinyl itself
Doesn't
does not glue.
No.
So just if you want to try and glue on top of vinyl, don't.
Right, vinyl is the biggest lie when it comes to gluing. However,
And spray painting. Do not spray paint.
no, never spray paint vinyl.
Well, use upholstery vinyl spray paint that you get at the auto parts store if you have to spray paint vinyl.
It's
Add
over
a
here,
base
Gara.
coat, and then you can put other vinyl on top, spray paint on top. But just do
So quick
yourself a
product
favor.
placement.
Don't spray paint vinyl unless you got it.
Yep, unless you got this. And what's nice about this type of spray paint, which again, you get at an auto store because this is for spraying the upholstery in vinyl cars. Once this is on your vinyl, you can then use regular spray paint and regular paints over the top of it. I've actually used this a lot for going back to customizing action figures. If you remember in the 90s, there was the Han Solo and trench coat from Endor. I used a black of this to spray his Endor trench coat, which was vinyl, turned it black in order to make a crow wearing a trench coat action figure. And it permeated the vinyl so well and stuck so well that even stretching it to go back over to the action figure's arms, it didn't crack the paint, it didn't scrape the paint, nothing. It
awesome.
Bonded. Yeah. So that's when I really got a real love for this type of paint.
Yeah. I've hated my life so many times because of spray paint not drying on vinyl.
Who would have thought? Yeah, exactly. How did I learn? I had a $100 T800 vinyl model kit from Horizon. It's like, oh, I got this great chrome spray paint. This is going to be easy. Year and a half later, it would still leave fingerprints and it was a sticky mess. It's like, and there's nothing you can do to fix it because anything that would be harsh enough of a chemical to take the spray paint off will melt the kit. So I was like,
yeah. Kiss boots never dried.
yep, no, they wouldn't.
We ended up baby powdering them.
Yep.
To get rid of the stick.
Yep, that works. Cornstarch baby powder.
I wanted to do this armored top that had these. I wanted to originally do it out of metal, but somebody convinced me just to do it out of vinyl and make it look like metal. Bad idea. I should have just done the metal like I wanted to.
Right,
Just
right, right.
saying.
That wasn't me, right?
No, it wasn't you.
Good, good.
No. But the paint never dried.
Yeah.
It was a bigger pain in the ass than it was worth. Yeah.
I remember doing the baby powder stuff to some dinosaurs that got painted here for a music video.
Yes.
That just like,
That was me bugging you because
Yeah.
the spray paint wasn't drying.
we need this to fix. All right, let's
the
do
blue
this.
chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the blue chair. Oh, yeah.
The blue chair.
Oh, the blue chair. Same video. That was the Tokyo Break Apart video. That was a werewolf video.
Same shooting week, different videos.
Oh, really? That chair wasn't the chair from that video?
No.
Oh, wow.
The chair was in the werewolf video. The dinosaurs weren't.
Oh, gotcha.
The
Okay.
dinosaurs were from the Vicky.
So the Vicky T, right.
So-
Which came out months later.
I'm not the like. Once
No, it's not up to
made,
us. Yeah.
I forget about it, and then it came out. When did that happen?
Right.
You know, like months, years, the next day. Who knows? I've already moved on.
Right.
Oh, that looks good, but you're crooked.
What?
You started off this side, and then you notice. That's okay.
No, I was trying to follow the links.
That's okay. It looks nice.
Okay.
Follows the links nicely. Just
Then-
warning you to be.
I'll try and use the grid on the cutting pad instead of the links.
It's okay. I'm just kind of going from the view of if I was making this out of the real product, how would I do it? And this would be top stitched through and done, like
Yeah.
it's not going to be perfectly straight unless you're a computer rendering image of,
Right.
but yeah.
Okay, so I'll hold. So we'll do this time instead, as I've got my edge of the foam against the edge of the grid. And then I've got my, this is the wrong one. Then I've got with the glue on it. And 1/2 inch up on the grid, I'll try and line it up on this side. Then a little bit of tension, but not so much it's going to cause it to stretch. Don't pull on it, because if you pull on it, it'll curl up.
It does curl if you pull too much, and then you'll get a little bit of I call it a wample.
Wample's a great word.
Wiggle.
Wample's the nice version of the Wampa that attacked Luke on Hoth. If you got the Wample, he'll just give you a snow cone.
Okay.
Yeah. I have no idea. I just made that shit up.
I believed you.
Appreciate it. You say something with authority on the internet, people will believe you. Which isn't to say that I'm trying to lie to you guys at all. It's just one of those things that seems to be true.
Say things with enough confidence.
Yep.
You can be confidently incorrect, and it's fine.
Yeah, actually, I got, for lack of a better term, high marks at a college course for that. We were doing some math course, and of course the professor's going through the students. Everybody has to read off the next question. Doesn't matter what it is. Everyone's got to do it. That way, no one's left out, and he's not picking favorites. So we just run up and down the rows and do it. And everyone was always like, 17. That's the way they're all coming out. So he comes to me and I go 43. And he goes, really? What? Yep, I got 43. Well, that's great. What did you get for the next one? I got 72. Oh, that's awesome. Those are both wrong, but I love the way you say it.
But I thought that was the answer to everything. 42.
42. Yep.
42.
Was it Isaac Asimov? I can't remember which book it was. Wrote a book where that civilization built an even better supercomputer and decided that the answer was wrong and it was 43. But it was cool that Asimov, I think it was Asimov, did the story that related to Douglas Adams' story.
Okay, now we gotta bend it and glue it.
Okay, so I need to trim the ends.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Mr. Bentley, we've answered a question from him before. Odin and Felicia, favorite hero or favorite character?
The Tick.
I can go with that. Favorite hero? The Tick. Yep. I was working at a comic shop when The Tick came out. I think I was there when issue 3 hit the stands for the original New England Comics run. Definitely The Tick. Yep.
Once baked a muffin that stole my car.
He was the
Not have great lines like that.
Right.
I don't know.
Was
The
it?
Tick and then Ladybug Girl.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
But The Tick.
Yeah, a lot of the characters that break the fourth wall. Ambush Bug from DC Comics was one that did a lot of breaking of the fourth wall and would use the mechanics of a comic book against the villains. And then Deadpool started doing that as well. But I believe Ambush Bug was doing it very similar beforehand. Deadpool's a different character, he's more crass. But Ambush Bug knew he was in a comic and would work his way around
I feel
it.
like The Tick has the pure essence of a 10-year-old boy being a superhero.
Yeah.
Like just the innocence and excitement of doing good and saving the day and
Spoon! Yes.
You know?
Nigh invulnerable, yet has the intelligence of topsoil. Yes.
And then Arthur. I love Arthur. Just
Another innocent.
I love all the Batman. Well.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
The Tick's my favorite superhero.
I can go with that easy.
Yeah.
And at least it's a spoon. At least it's a comic series that if you wanted to get every issue, you can. There's like 13. There was actually more later, but the original run, that's all there was.
I even really liked the Amazon show so much.
Oh yeah. No, the Amazon show is the closest to the original comic. That was great.
I like the cartoon.
Cartoon was great.
I love
They're all
the live
great.
action.
I'll just say everything's great. Sorry.
But like I feel like all the different versions have been great, and I like the Tick, and he's my favorite superhero. Okay.
Okay.
Next question, I guess.
Sure. Oh, we're done talking about The Tick? Fine. So Tremors is a great movie. It's one of those really bad B-grade movies that for some reason I freaking love. And so, again, a bunch of great characters. Walter Chang and Ed Gummer and Val and Earl. Oh, wait, we're not talking about Tremors. Oh, Carl Davies. Thanks for your advice last week. I love your channel. I'm working on a smart desk with lots of built-in gadgets, and how can I send you pictures? This is addressed to both of us. So Carl's saying this to both of us. You can send me pictures. My social media is on Instagram. It's Odin Makes. I have a Facebook page, Odin Makes. You can send an email to Odin at Odin Makes. Do you want an Odin Makes email? She has an Instagram. It's at Eesh87, which is a EESH_87, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Currently, yeah.
Currently. It'll change soon to Dwarf Hammer. Orc Smasher.
I don't know. I barely have an Instagram, but
Right.
that's where I am on the interwebs.
There, this is where you're on the interwebs.
Yes.
And so at the moment, I think that's the only real way to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
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 But no, if you really need one, if you need a public facing, I'd be happy to give you Felicia at Odin Makes or whatever you want.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
TBD.
TBD. Yeah, don't send anything to it right
decided.
now. Yeah. Don't just send anything right now. It's not going to go anywhere.
All right. I think these need the blues.
Jesse is Zipveld. What's our favorite TV and movie TV show? Well, we just said Tick Amazon, although maybe some other stuff. For me, Tremors. And that's one of those things that changes with time. The Thing is a fantastic movie. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan is a fantastic movie in my opinion. It depends on what genre I want to look at. But if I just want to say something open, Evil Dead 2 is a fantastic movie.
Oh my god.
But Tremors. Tremors is just one that, the only movie I've seen more than Tremors, and it almost doesn't count, as Rocky Horror Picture Show because I was part of a cast. So I've actually been, I know I've been to a theater and seen Rocky in the theater we aren't really paying attention more than anything else. But I've seen Tremors or listened to it
so many people for Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, I can't even count them on my hands and toes.
And I bet.
But I haven't been to a show yet.
Oh, okay.
I've dressed so many people up for
Sure.
it. So many.
It was one of those things you did before there was an internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what else you can do on a Saturday night? Well, you could drink, but you could always drink and go to Rocky too.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one of those things that I've dressed people up for so many things that I haven't yet done.
Okay.
That's one of those that it's on the list.
It's on the list. Now's the right time of year, because at this point, Rocky only plays
it's
around
not.
Halloween. Well, okay, this year is a crap year to do anything, but The Season of the Witch is well, a bad movie, but it's the right time to catch Rocky Horror Picture Show as a cast somewhere. I think Berkeley still, well, probably not this year, but I think Berkeley Theater still does it.
Well, even if they still do it, I'm not going this year.
No.
But yeah, it's on the list.
So she was concerned about having a curve and putting it on the mannequin. I was just rolling it and kind of forcing it a little bit, because if it's got a little more of a curve than we need, it can relax pretty easily. But if we do it flat, we're hosed. Yeah, just plain old hosed. Bob and Doug McKenzie, another movie I really enjoy and I quote all the time, but don't think about it as being one of my favorite movies. Of course, it's Hamlet, but still, you know, whatever. Bob and Doug McKenzie, Strange Brew, great movie.
Never heard of it.
It's a bad movie.
It's okay.
It's the McKenzie brothers, a couple of Canadian guys. It's all about hockey. It's Rick Moranis and Dave Thompson. Anyway, yeah, they were huge in the 80s. And then disappeared. Was it? Yeah, it was Moranis. Wasn't it?
I don't know.
They'll correct me if I say it wrong.
Interwebs. I see a hola from Mexico.
Oh, hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I don't see it.
Dave Thomas.
It is Dave Thomas? Sweet.
Isn't that the guy
I see
who
it.
makes Wendy's?
Dave Thomas is the same name as the fellow who was on Wendy's, but the actor's name is Dave Thomas. They were all part of SCTV, wasn't it? It was SCTV, wasn't it? Second City Television? Isn't that where that comedy group? It's a Canadian comedy show like Saturday Night Live, but funnier. And that's where that came from, as well as like Eugene Levy was part of that group. He's if I pointed out the movies he was in, you'd know who he was. Probably. But anyway. Yeah. And it was Rick Moranis, right? Or am I wrong on that? I really feel like I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
I cannot quite
Can't
focus.
Right, I can't either. I'm nearsighted. I just have to lean into the computer to see it. Yes, Mr. Bentley, I did hear about Sylvester Stallone doing the voice and being in Mortal Kombat 11, and I've seen some of the reveal videos, which is all very cool that Rambo is going to appear. Oddly enough, I liked the first couple of Rambo movies, but I was never that huge of a fan. I was almost more of a fan of Weird Al Yankovic's parodies in UHF.
My friend Adrian had 2 turtles.
Oh, yep.
And I was like, you gotta name them Cuff and Link. And she didn't.
Oh.
No. I was very disappointed in the opportunity. But since she was little, she's gotten the, yo, Adrian.
Right.
But she didn't find the humor in it, but.
But, you know, it's also great because it was the 80s. You have this R-rated film with this Vietnam vet coming back and exacting revenge on everybody. Let's turn it into a Saturday morning cartoon and market it on big wheels.
Sounds legit to me.
Yeah, man, that's what happened.
I was going to fold under the underside, but I like it flat better. I think I'm just going to do it flat. Well, I knew I was going to do it flat on the foam ones.
Oh, okay.
But on the stitched ones, I was going to pretend to do it nicer.
Gotcha.
But I think I like that because when you do bias tape, there's one side that's a little bit longer than the top side when it's folded, so that it catches the bottom no matter what when you're sewing.
Okay. I understood. Maybe I confused myself, but okay.
Okay. Because when you're sewing and you have the under fabric, sometimes you might miss it because you can't see it.
So the bottom side of the fabric you're sewing is longer.
Slightly longer.
Okay.
And if I don't fold it under, I for sure will catch it. It'll be easier, and easier is always.
Easier is usually the best plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just talking it out in my head, going, should I do this? Yeah, Yeah, probably.
Why not?
Why not?
Not only do you have someone else in the room, you've got the internet to talk to as well.
I know, that's
The best part is,
part.
if you're wrong in 30 seconds, they'll let you know you're wrong because there's a delay between me saying this and you hearing it.
There's a million ways to do it. None of them are right. They'll all work-ish.
They'll all work-ish. Some just take more work to make them work.
Sometimes it takes way more work to be lazy.
Yes.
But
No.
the people that are really good at being lazy, they really know how to get their stuff done efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So I need, did you get these hemmed?
These, yeah, right here.
Oh, my arm's in the way. I didn't even see them.
They're
Okay.
right there, waiting for you.
All right.
I was kind of moving on to the
Please do.
the other one.
I'm still talking a lot.
It's okay. This whole project's going to be done live. This is the process.
Yeah, this is the process. And adding the element of filming and adding the element of talking to you guys makes the process go slower. But we are only 4.5, 5 hours into this project, and that's it.
It takes me about 8 hours to do a complete dress from start to finish.
And that's not a normal dress. She's talking about a wedding dress.
Patterning it, cutting it, because cutting it takes way more time than you would think. It takes 2 to 3 hours just to lay out the fabric, lay out the patterns, and cut them. And then there's the prep sewing, the thing. So it takes a solid 8 hours just to do a basic dress. So crafting takes time.
It does.
Every part of it does, and it's okay.
And if you're making it up as you go along, the exploration of what your solution is takes a ton of time. There's plenty of times I get asked, "So you're just building a boomerang? That's only going to take a little bit, right?" Yeah, I should get that done really quick. And then I try to do something because, oh, this will be really cool. And 3 days later, I haven't built a boomerang. So not that I've built a boomerang. It was just an easy example.
Yeah, but still, sometimes you're like, oh, this will be super easy and super fast. But the thing is that it's a lot of mental work before you start.
Right.
Or you're like not working on a project, but you've been thinking about it for 3 days, and so you think you haven't done anything, but you've worked out most of the problems thinking about it before you started. At least that's with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually pattern in my sleep. Like I will be trying to figure out this tricky pattern, and it'll like be stumping me, and then I'll go to bed and wake up the next morning. Go, oh yeah, it goes together like this. Like I'm doing puzzles in my sleep.
Good for you. I don't do that, but I think it's because I don't give myself enough sleep. So when I do sleep, I'm out. But I very rarely have solved problems in my sleep. I've solved problems in near sleep.
No,
I've solved problems.
Not problems, just specifically patterning, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I shouldn't. Okay. What I mean by problems is crafting problems, building problems. How am I going to make something invisible hang? Whatever. It doesn't make sense. But how am I going to do something that should be otherwise impossible? Those types of problem solving.
Yeah.
The part that makes me excited about crafting, and especially building stuff for video, where you really got to do weird, stupid stuff. It's the driving, it's being in the shower, it's the almost going to sleep. Yeah.
It's that sweet spot when you're most creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can get that.
And I spent a lot of time trying to be calm and not overly caffeinated and not worked up over stupid life problems. How am I going to pay for something, or arguing with someone who isn't in the room. I try not to do that when I'm crafting, because that just slows me down and ruins the experience.
If I'm crafting in a bad mood, you can see it in my final product.
Oh, in the final product, you read all over my face, but yeah.
I was gonna say, you could, I start running into problems, I start getting in a bad mood, everything starts to slope downhill, and the project, and sometimes I have to walk away and come back to it with a calmer brain. But now that my job always is working, you don't get to have the luxury of, I don't feel like being creative today, this isn't working.
Yeah, that is work. That is a hard thing if you got a job that requires you to be creative and you have to go and be creative on time. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and you don't get, and if you're in that funk and everything's and it's just going to continue to come out funky, I have to step away, take a drink of coffee, calm down. Oh.
I'm hearing grunting. All right.
Oh, Bruno's licking Toby's tail.
Oh, okay.
And Toby's like, stop.
Stop, that's what's going on. All right.
Yeah. Actually, now he's scratching his butt.
Now he's scratching his butt? Oh, okay.
To be a dog.
To be a dog. Guys, you're live streaming to the internet. But yeah, so you can see it in your final work. Being in a bad mood and running into a problem and not being able to think your way through it is also the, forget it, I'll just force it harder. And
then you end up with the worst problem.
Yeah, worst problem or a worse product, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it takes more time to rip something out than it does to have just not sewn it.
Yep. Yeah. 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 Joseph Joester, hello there. Hello there. Wow, Cantun has done the same one 3 times, so I suppose I'll actually read this one. Cantun is saying, big thanks to you for giving me inspiration and confidence for trying to make more props and take the risk to learn. And now I'm studying for costume and stage decoration on university. Really? Wait for the rest. Really? That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, I got my degree in fashion design and merchandising. Don't go into too much debt for it.
I got no degree. I went to college until I got bored and then just got a job, so I never bothered to finish. But I was going to a community college, so I wasn't heavily invested financially. D2K Prime and Bruno.
Bruno, all done. Come here, baby.
D2K Prime is asking, let me double check this because I don't have that good of a memory. What would be the essential tool set for someone getting started in prop making? The essential tool set: razor knife,
Scissors, tape, glue,
ruler,
craft supplies.
hot glue gun.
Well, you have to have a license for a hot glue gun. I hate hot glue guns.
The safety course for a hot glue gun is grueling. The worst part is going out on the range and actually having to hit the target, you know, with a hot glue gun. No, anyway.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Not
basically.
everyone should be allowed to use those.
No, pretty much not. The biggest savior with hot glue gun is rubbing alcohol will break the bond of the hot glue, and you can peel it off of anything that it isn't like mashed into the fibers of. But you get hot glue spilt on your marble table, you can put a little bit of rubbing alcohol around the edges of the dollop, and it'll pop right off. It'll come off of a lot of fabrics and stuff that way too. I would think that would be it. If you really want to start prop making, don't think you're going to immediately start with casting silicones and making something that's going to be, you know, just make stuff.
I usually, depending on the project I'm making, will figure it out to do that. Like, I want this knitted scarf. I don't knit, but I can figure it out enough to figure that out. And now I know how to knit in different ways. Can keep, you know, like you figure out the project as you go. So I need to make this prop, and this prop requires some weird stuff I don't know yet. You're gonna figure it out, or
you're gonna figure it out, yeah.
Or you're gonna figure out a different way to go around it.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta make shit, and there's no. You're making props. You need specifically foam, glue. You know,
I wouldn't even say foam. Cardboard's great.
Cardboard.
There's a
fabric.
There's a guy I've seen recently. I haven't watched his video, but recently did a T-Rex skull out of cardboard. Looks great.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole other guy on Instagram, Paper Model Guru. He's just doing pepakura. It looks great. So foam's my medium. It doesn't have to be your medium. Find what you like to work with and go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's guys that make fantastic stuff out of chocolate.
I know, I like the way that the cake boss says modeling chocolate.
Modeling chocolate? I can't even say. I have no idea.
No, but I love the way he says
it. She's saying it very quietly over here. Shh.
Can I see our windows?
No.
No, not at all.
Not even a little bit. So I'm doing this kind of blind because it's a curve. So if I have a little more on the top and the bottom, I apologize. Oh, okay, good. Oh, you know my viewers. No, you guys are great.
There we go, that's perfect.
Both of us have worked for the YouTube channel Smosh. I bring this up on occasion. And that was a good place where the joke of, oh, you know our viewers, because man, you say something wrong, you do something wrong, especially on Smosh, which has millions of views as opposed to my thousands of views, which I'm grateful for. I'm not knocking it. It's just there's a big difference in size of channels. Boy, would they be happy to point out that you said something wrong, or the lapel was crooked, or it was the wrong shade of blue.
I always took it as a compliment. You guys watched close enough to notice that he switched shirts mid-scene?
Yeah, she's right on that. I got excited on my channel when I first started getting dislikes on my videos, because that meant my friends weren't the only ones watching. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this without pinning.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like it's going to be more crooked than your eyeball.
I don't know, my eyeballs are actually technically medically crooked. I have an astigmatism.
Oh, okay.
It's not too bad. You know, it comes out a lot when I'm not wearing my glasses, which means that on the video you should be able to see it from time to time. Hey! So she's totally not using spray glue to mount something. She's not doing that at all, because she told me not to do it earlier.
Oh, filters, love this stuff. It makes fabric stickers.
Oh, not the dog. There you are. This is Eileen's repositionable
Tacky spray?
tacky spray. Yeah.
And so you make fabric stickers and you can stick something. Oh, nobody can see it. Stick something and then re-stick it where you need it so you can place things and figure out where it's going to go before you make any decisions. And since I'm having a hard time and I can't use needle poke through this, I just gave it slightly of a sticky texture. Now, I am going to run it through a sewing machine. I have used this stuff and done it before. Replace your needles.
Right, you've oiled the needles. Now, I can also honestly say, with you sticking it on my shoulder, I appreciate you didn't use pins.
Yeah. So, that's what I did. I don't really tell people I do that because, it's a secret. But now I can just stick it like a sticker and move on from there. Except for I used up the stick on your shoulder.
Yeah, I was thinking that. You got it all full of lint now.
Well,
my shoulder appreciates the clean.
Well, if you want to use it as a sticker and like reuse it and all,
yeah.
you can really load it up, but I just wanted it to be...
To stay while you're sewing it.
Yeah, so...
So she's totally not off. Never mind.
Well, do you already spray cameras?
No, not really.
Okay. This is just a not hot iron. Don't tell.
All right. Okay, the important thing here is that it works, not necessarily how it works. You know, the viewers might care how it works, 'cause they want to know what the heck it is we're doing, but getting a costume that you can wear and that people can recognize is definitely what you end up with, not how you get there. So if anybody tells you there's only one way to do it, they're probably trying to sell you something, or they only know the way that only worked for them. Because there is a possibility of it being an innocent thing to say. Come on. Well, I have to cut this anyway. That sucks. I didn't want to cut it because this is vinyl. It's just not gonna stay. Okay, I see activity. I'll try and give some attention to everybody else. Sweet. Thank you, Cantuna, reading your secondary comment. That's awesome. Don't worry about having to become a patron. If you can, great. But yeah, don't put yourself into a bind over it. G-Man Fortress says, and to think that you're doing this right now and I'm almost at FaceTime with you. Yeah, almost. There's a delay between the upload of the image, the compression of the image, and the streaming out of the image. You get about a 30-second delay. but it's almost real time. And what's funny is when I was doing streaming video in the 90s, we had the same delay. So whatever that delay is, even if that's the amount of time it takes for electrons to flow through copper wire.
Go to space and back.
Go to space and back. Yeah, that it hasn't changed in 20 years.
Started getting off and I just don't want to keep going. Okay.
No.
See, this is live. Y'all get to see my mistakes.
Yeah, but the cameras are far away. They're not up that close here.
No,
There's
it's okay.
4. I can't zoom. Oh, you're actually out of frame. Good for you.
Yay!
Yay!
Ripping out seams.
Look, you're out seams. Yay, seam ripping.
Yeah, I started to go off and then it just was going way too much, so.
I'm trying to curl a flat vinyl around to the inside curve of something.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's wrinkling.
Oh, of course, right?
Right, which, that was kind of expected, so I'm not stressing too much over it.
I haven't gotten to the curved surface yet. Getting there. There we go, that's where I got off.
The shoulder is probably a shallow enough thing. You can probably sew it pretty flat. It'll be okay.
Well, I was going to take off the plate and just sew it with the curve around it just to kind of push it.
Oh, okay. Take off this plate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Slide that off.
Gotcha. Right.
And then around this, like as if this is a curved arms to
Sweet.
this to help with that.
All right.
That. Because that means.
Because there's body language involved, I know what you mean. If this was a podcast, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Where are the little? Oh, there they are. Because I'm well organized.
You had it on the table. That's not too bad. Oh, hello, Jaden L. Last live stream we talked about our fathers. I remember talking about our fathers. I don't remember specifically that Jaden L. talked to me about it. I apologize for that. It's been a week for me. But no, I remember that. Yeah. Hello again. How are you doing?
I think I broke it.
I hope not. What's broken?
We're at the end of the bobbin, and so it's a little.
Oh, so it's catching?
Yeah.
Okay, that's different than breaking it.
I know, but it's still the whole. I guess you stop before it does.
Right. We break my wife's sewing machine and we're done.
Oh, I ordered a new sewing machine today, so there's that. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we'll both be in wheelchairs.
Yeah, so we don't have to risk. Oh.
Yeah, that'll work. V&K Richards, hello! G-Man Fortress, I do not remember that specifically that you changed your name, but I remember massacring Gianni Valise from one of the live streams, so hello again. Pancake Face, who's Felicia? This is Felicia.
I'm Felicia.
That's
no,
Felicia.
I'm not famous. Yes, I work in craft and lots of weird experience. We're friends.
We're friends.
I bug him.
Yep. Not trying to knock you off your box, sorry.
It's okay, there's a bunch of cords, and then there's the. Anyways.
The trash cans underneath, under the table, underneath the sewing machine. So for me, I have found that having the trash can immediately accessible, where I can just hand motion, throw it away, and make it into the trash can, has been a huge value with keeping my floors cleaner. They're not clean, but cleaner, and keeping my and making it easier to tidy up my work surface. When the trash can was put in the room, in the corner where it kind of belongs, I ended up having to rake up the whatever I'm working on, like raking your yard, and take this stuff to the trash because it's not convenient when I'm working. So the table is high enough that a rolling 35-gallon trash can fits underneath the side over there. And if you've got the space to craft, get a trash receptacle that is immediately accessible from where you're standing or sitting.
A plastic bag tied next to your work surface works just as well.
There you go.
Anytime we had it portable costuming stations,
Yep.
we always had a little trash bag it makes life easier. Then you don't have to clean up afterwards if you
Right.
clean as you go. I say that as I roll my eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's
You
effective.
just clean as you go.
You clean as you go. Thanks, Mom. Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Good. And we're back. We're actually getting close to the 2 o'clock hour, so we're going to be.
Jeez, it
Yeah.
takes time to craft,
It does
doesn't
take time to craft. We're going to try not to go over this week because trying to get a few shots done for upcoming video. I need Felicia's help, and I've only got her help for so much time during the day.
So this sewing machine does not want to sew this heavy fabric right now, even though it was doing it before.
Oh, okay.
Let's finish that up since we're going.
Okay, then we'll worry about
I
it.
will have my new sewing machine next week,
Oh, sweet. Okay.
so we'll be good. I already
be good.
ordered it. I ordered it this
All right.
morning. Almost got a fancy one.
Well, I got that one, so I got this one, so I've only got one more to do.
Okay,
Yeah, I was trying to.
I see. So when you're doing this, think of fondant on a cake, and you can use heat. Does that make any sense?
I can, but heat will let the.
Would affect the glue?
It'll affect the glue and it'll affect the foam. And so if you put heat on it, it can get the glue to release.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
But
I
I
always like
can.
to think
No,
of it-
also I'm thinking heat gun, so you may be thinking a lighter heat than me.
Oh yeah, way lighter. 'Cause, like I was just warming up this just so that it bent.
Okay.
Because it kind of gets a little bit of a stretch anyways.
It does.
So when doing this, I tend to pull the wrinkles towards here. So by the time I get down there, but it's no perfect. I'm just saying in your head, think about fondant. As much hate as it gets, it's really good
Okay.
when you're going around those curves and pushing the fullness to. Anyways, yeah, it's what I think about when I do that. Not that it makes sense to any of y'all.
And that goes back to relating to unassociated crafts or experiences that bleed through to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did Egon say? It was past life experiences bleeding through to the present time, something like that. But
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. Past craft experiences bleeding through to present time.
There you go. Hey Odin, what's your favorite restaurant in Sacramento? Well, it depends on what.
Yeah, it depends on what. Okay, I love Zelda's pizza, but a lot of people argue that's not pizza. It is. It's just a specific
pie
type.
crust
Yeah,
pizza.
it's pie crust. It's a pizza you have to use a fork
Don't
with.
expect it, you will be very unhappy.
Yeah, I'll be very unhappy. I like McCooney's. Trying to think.
The best pho is pho Undao.
For Undao, okay.
It's a hole in the wall.
That's why it's the best. There was one at Pacific Heights that was really, really good. And then briefly they changed their pho to something that wasn't a scratch. And it was horrible. We let them know. Thankfully, they went back. They're moving to Carmichael now, so it's a little scary. I like Kiki's Chicken Palace, but I like hot food, so.
Yeah. I think my favorite pizza is Roma's.
Okay. Have I been to Roma's?
There's Roma's and Roma's too.
Right.
Yeah, they have really good cheese.
I like, there was a lot of Rico's Pizza in Sacramento for the longest time, RICO, and now there's Ciro's Pizza, because why buy a new sign when you can just kind of rearrange the consonants, right? So,
There you go. Let's see.
I really enjoyed, I'm going to say the pizza a lot. There's Pizza Rock down on K Street, although I'm afraid COVID has them closed permanently. I don't know if that's true, but I was kind of reading that. I enjoyed Pizza Rock. Luis's was really good. I don't know if they're still alive.
Yeah.
It's Mexican food.
Super tortas.
Super tortas.
Those have the best I believe it's Super Tortas, is it? I know where it is. I don't remember the name, but they have the best. They're the Mexico City style tortas.
And then in general, if you can't tell from my fantastic physical shape, I'm a bottom feeder. I eat out of a window without getting out of my car a lot, so I don't go to a lot of really good restaurants. There it is.
Okay. All right. So I'm reading the comments.
You please
past
read.
you.
We can trade spots if you need to.
I'm going to turn off the sewing machine because it doesn't like me right now.
Okay. I get it.
No, I just don't want to start swearing at this machine. It's been so nice to me.
Right. Look, yeah, I'm really glad the mics are working too. The very first video we had 2 microphones, and it was going in left channel into the main camera, right channel into the main camera. So anyone who was wearing headphones was hearing me on one channel and her on the other. So if you only had one headphone on, then you weren't hearing the other person.
And that's how I listen to my
And yeah, anybody who's trying to do something that can hear the room they're in has only got one in. So that was causing a problem. At this point, I'm the only one wearing a microphone. I've got a wire. And I'm just close enough to Felicia that can pick her up. But if you listen closely, when I'm speaking, I sound one way, and it's not just my voice. And when Felicia speaks,
I sound different no matter what.
she sounds different, but she has a slightly hollower sound because the microphone is not attached to her. No, just the sound of your voice because the microphone's in an inappropriate place. It's on me, inappropriate place, nothing. I don't need an adult. Okay.
I'm just giving you shit. G-Day, Odin.
G-Day. Is that the person, or is that just someone saying?
Can you show me the corners of armor?
Oh, the corners that I'm trying to do?
Okay, so the way that they do it in the video game, they just cross them. I wouldn't have done it this way. Oh, well, it's okay. And so they just kind of go over the edge of the other ones.
Well, I was just trying to, you wouldn't have done it that way. I was trying to get it to glue.
Sorry, I would have just done it, folded it this way, and then had it finished like that.
But how's it going to glue?
It would have just been that. It would have been folded over, slightly trim that.
Oh, so it's a folding over because it's folded in the top?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's okay.
it'll peel. It's vinyl. It's not. What could I have made
There's
a bunch of
no
cuts?
right way to do it.
We might have to stitch the corners to make them stay.
Yeah, but
So the corners are just they're just straight edges, and I'm just folding it over in a brute force kind of way.
yeah, I could tell. It's okay. We're gonna add rivets.
We're gonna add rivets.
We're gonna add rivets to
That'll
those
hold.
corners.
Okay, that'll hold the corners down.
Yeah, on the ones that aren't so noticeable, you have the little tiny brass ones. But on the ones that you actually see where his rivets are, there's the big silver top
Right.
ones for that.
Joe's come back in, which means it must be 2 o'clock. I'm just trying to get the last thing done.
205.
It's 2:05.
And then we have the bottom halves of the armor with the leather on. But it doesn't have the strip down the center yet.
Right.
We haven't done that yet.
Details.
I'm going to top stitch that and then glue it on. But we're not really working on this project outside of the live stream, so you get to
Right.
see the whole crafting process.
Yeah. After you spending a lot of time the last 2 weeks helping me with additional projects, I don't expect to see you again until next Monday. I'm sure you would like to see the rest of your real family. Thank you for spending a lot of time here.
No worries. They've been fun projects.
Good.
Interesting challenges. Did you guys enjoy the last one? We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, we'll just stop.
You really are forcing those corners.
Yeah. I'm just forcing the corners down.
All right, I will.
As much as you can, because I made some cuts, so.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because I can't glue vinyl to vinyl. It'll never stick.
Okay.
So I was trying to get rid of the vinyl to vinyl to try and glue it. But anyway.
Next week.
So this is how Odin ruins vinyl corners on a Witcher armor. It's foam. It gives you a plus 0.25 armor class boost. That's all. But anyway, this has been our live stream today on October 12th, a Monday. I've appreciated all the comments of yours that I caught, that I was able to read. I will probably go back through this and reread a lot of the comments. You may not, but that's okay.
No, probably won't.
Probably won't. But thank you so much for joining us. I've actually had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun talking to you. The most interesting thing about doing the live streams is that even though I'm standing in a room and I'm talking to a Panasonic camera behind a teleprompter, I still feel like I'm talking to you because I can look over here and see what you're saying and have that kind of interaction. So it's really very cool for me. So I hope that it's enjoyable for all of you as well. How about you?
Hi, internet strangers. It's nice talking to you.
There you go. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to be back again next Monday at noon my time here in the Pacific Standard Time for about 2 hours doing more Witcher armor, and we're going to continue doing that for the foreseeable future with there may be times a Monday gets taken off, but I will still be live streaming. If Felicia isn't here, either you're stuck with just me or I'll have somebody else. And whenever we can, we'll make sure that we have Toby and Bruno. But all 4 of us just want to say thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Remember, there's lots of different ways to end a live stream, but this is how Odin ends a live stream.
Bye.
Where's the button again?
I don't know.
It's an old joke, but I still feel the same way because I gotta like close this window and I gotta, well, or make it big, and I gotta move this window out of the way.
I'm just gonna put everything back in a box next week.
Hey, I found the button.
You found the button?
How'd you guys do?
I felt like I did fine.
You got shoulder pads.
No,
Oh.
underarm pad.